It began, as most tremors in the royal world do, with a single, seemingly harmless sentence. Change is on my agenda. Change for good. With those calm, deliberate words, Prince William, heir to the British throne and future sovereign of one of the most enduring monarchies on earth, set off shockwaves through the polished corridors of Buckingham Palace and beyond. The phrase sounded gentle enough to the public, like a son quietly preparing for his destiny. But to royal traditionalists, it was an omen, a signal that the next chapter of the monarchy might look nothing like the last. For weeks now, the British establishment has been holding its breath. Royal commentators, courtiers, and historians, those invisible architects who guard the monarchy's myth, have begun whispering a phrase they once would have laughed at: part-time king. They say it with unease, with the brittle politeness of people discussing a subject too dangerous to name outright. Because if they are right, if Prince William truly intends to reshape the very rhythm of royal life, the institution could find itself in its most radical transformation since the abdication crisis of 1936. The moment that sparked this unease came during William's appearance on The Reluctant Traveller, the Apple TV Plus series hosted by Canadian actor Eugene Levy. The prince, relaxed and unguarded, offered the kind of emotional transparency rarely seen from a future monarch. Riding an e-scooter through Windsor Castle's historic corridors, he spoke of change, purpose, and balance, words that have begun to haunt those who believe the monarchy's strength lies in its unchanging nature. "I embrace that change," he said. "I enjoy that change. I don't fear it." Those sentences, soft, even thoughtful, landed like an earthquake. Behind closed doors, senior aides and former courtiers dissected every syllable. To them, William's emphasis on balance and well-being hinted at a quiet, but seismic rebellion against the model that defined his grandmother's reign, a reign built on duty, constancy, and relentless visibility. Elizabeth II never took breaks from being queen, the crown was her life's pulse. But William, it seems, envisions something different, a monarchy that breathes, that retreats, that prioritizes family and sanity over ceremonial perfection. And that vision terrifies the traditionalists. According to reports from Radar Online and The Telegraph, insiders have begun to wonder whether William's approach, shared by his wife, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, will distance them too far from the people they are destined to represent. People are worried that by putting family life and privacy first, William could start to lose touch with the public, one royal source revealed. The late Queen always believed visibility was essential, and some think he's pulling back more than he should. That quiet accusation of withdrawal, of modern detachment, has evolved into something darker. Within royal circles, it has been whispered that William's approach could make him Britain's first part-time king. The phrase, cruel as it sounds, isn't new. It has shadowed him since youth. Work-shy Wills, the tabloids once sneered, when he briefly stepped back from public duties in favor of family life in Norfolk. Back then, the criticism seemed premature, even petty. But now, as he shapes the contours of his future reign, the question resurfaces with sharper edges. Can a modern monarch still serve the public if he also insists on being private? The irony is rich. In a family once accused of coldness, of emotional distance, of living behind palace gates, William and Kate are redefining what it means to be royal precisely by being human. Their devotion to their children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, is genuine, almost fierce. They are seen on school runs, family walks, small domestic moments that contrast sharply with the guilt and grandeur of royal myth. But with that authenticity comes fragility. A king who prioritizes fatherhood over formality might win hearts, but he risks losing the mystique that keeps the monarchy alive. Experts are divided. Some see in William's candor the promise of evolution, a chance for the monarchy to finally mirror the values of the people it serves. Others see danger, the thinning of a sacred veil that cannot be easily restored once lifted. The late Queen understood this instinctively. To her, the crown was not a role but an identity, permanent and inescapable. Visibility was the price of reverence. Distance was the currency of respect. William, shaped by the trauma of his parents' divorce and the tragic death of his mother, sees things differently. For him, balance is not indulgence, it's survival. That survival instinct has only deepened since Kate's recent health challenges. Her decision to retreat from the public eye, to prioritize recovery and calm, has reinforced the couple's shared conviction that life cannot revolve solely around appearances. Kate wants a peaceful, healthy life, and William is determined to make that happen, a source told Radar Online. But to do that, he'll have to find a balance between being the private husband he wants to be and the public king he's expected to become. This is the paradox that now defines the future of the monarchy: a king who must serve by standing back, who must connect by preserving privacy. It is, in many ways, a collision of eras, the digital century meeting the divine right. For William, the challenge is not about abandoning duty, but redefining it. His vision appears rooted in authenticity: fewer ceremonies, more direct engagement; fewer speeches, more substance. In this, he mirrors the global trend toward leaders who are approachable rather than untouchable. Yet monarchy, by nature, resists equality. It requires distance, hierarchy, ritual, the illusion that its bearers are not quite like us. And therein lies the risk. Royal commentator Ingrid Seward once said that every generation of the Windsors faces a choice between continuity and relevance. Too much of one, she wrote, and you lose the people. Too much of the other, and you lose the crown. William now stands precisely on that knife's edge. His insistence on humanity could either save the monarchy, or dissolve the mystique that sustains it. To the public, the Prince of Wales remains the image of composure, a man shaped by loss, but not defined by it, a husband and father whose restraint feels refreshing in a noisy world. Yet to the old guard, that same restraint reads as reluctance. They see a man wary of exposure, cautious of ceremony, reluctant to perform the exhausting theatre of kingship that his grandmother mastered so elegantly. What they cannot see, or will not admit, is that William's reluctance may be the very thing that keeps the crown alive in an age that no longer bows easily. He understands that the people's reverence has turned into curiosity, that modern respect is earned not through mystery, but through relatability. His part-time king approach may not be neglect, it may be strategy. A monarchy that breathes might just endure longer than one that pretends to be immortal. And yet, the unease persists. In the echoing halls of the palace, where portraits of stoic kings and queens stare down from centuries past, courtiers wonder what will remain when this new model takes hold. Will the crown still inspire, or if it becomes too familiar? Will the institution that once defined duty survive if its heirs prioritize peace? As William quietly reshapes the idea of monarchy, one that trades formality for empathy, perfection for balance, Britain stands on the edge of transformation. The late Queen's ghost still lingers in every gilded frame, whispering of duty, constancy, endurance. But her grandson walks a different path, one paved with vulnerability, reflection, and the quiet conviction that a crown is only worth wearing if it allows space for a life beneath it. For some, that is evolution. For others, it is heresy. But for Prince William, it is simply survival, the only way to be both a man and a monarch in a world that no longer worships either.